Yo, what's going on guys, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Now today's video I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can make this football quiz style niche. There are a few pages doing this niche at the moment and they're earning absolutely thousands through TikTok's Creator Rewards program, so I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on exactly how to make these from scratch. Now yes, this video is showing you a football style niche, however you can apply this tutorial to any sport you like. For example, if you prefer basketball or American football or hockey or cricket, you can apply it to literally any sport you want. Nobody knows how to actually make this niche at the moment, therefore make sure you watch the entire video all the way through because I'm going to teach you exactly how to from start to finish. Now I'm going to be showing you exactly how we can go ahead and recreate these videos. I'm just going to play you a quick example back. Now this video is created in Premiere Pro, that's why everything's so smooth. However, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do this in CapCut, which is a completely free platform. I'm going to show you everything that you can do from start to finish, and you're basically going to go ahead and recreate these videos exact. Now the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is recreate these little images here of the different characters. Now if you're someone that's already experienced with like Photoshop or something, then go ahead and do it, you'll know how to do this. However, if you have no experience at all, I'm going to be showing you two ways in which you can do this very efficiently. Okay, so the first method we're going to go through is using ChatGPT, and essentially all you need to go ahead and do is use and follow the exact prompts that I'm showing right here. So first you want to go ahead and tell it to create a square cutout of the footballer wearing, for example in here they're all wearing a white Adidas top to match the Real Madrid. So I've told it to wear a white Adidas top. Then you also want to go ahead and upload a reference image. So let's say we're doing Martin Odegaard. We're just going to search up for Odegaard and then put PNG afterwards. And then we're just going to find a good image of him. So one like this. And then you can just go ahead and copy or save this image and send it to ChatGPT as a reference. Then it's going to go ahead and create one like this, where he has no background and he's wearing that white top instead. And then you're going to go ahead and tell it to add a white background with cornered edges. So it's going to go ahead and add a background like so. Then you also want to go ahead and tell it to add some shadows and make the lighting look better. And then also not to show much of his chest and just show the top part like they're showing in this reference. And there we're going to get our final result. So from here now, you want to ask ChatGPT to save this as a template, because now it's going to basically recreate this photo for all the different, football players. So now it's gone ahead and save this as a template, and then you go ahead and ask it to do the same thing for different players. So now we're going to be doing Seedorf instead. So now you just want to go ahead and do the exact same thing. You search for a PNG of Seedorf, and then you just use whichever image works best. One where they're facing the camera like this works well, and you can just copy this image, provide this to ChatGPT, and it's going to go ahead and recreate the exact same one for ChatGPT like so. Then again the same with Haaland. And this is where you might need to upgrade your ChatGPT. So if you're trying to do so many images in one day, you will need the premium version of ChatGPT. However, I'm going to get onto a free method that won't require that at all. But this, in my opinion, is the best and most efficient way to do it. If you wanted to, you could always just keep creating new ChatGPT accounts and then reusing those if you really didn't want to spend anything. As you can see, I've now gone ahead and done that for all 4 players, and you can go ahead and download these up on the top like so. Alternatively, we can use Canva for completely free. So you can make these, icons for the images very, very easily. I'm going to show you exactly how. So first you want to go ahead and create a new design, and you want to go ahead and go to custom size, and we'll set this to 1000 by 1000, and that's going to create a square sort of design like so. And then all we need is a nice background. So I've gone ahead and added one inside of the asset section already. As you guys know, all the assets for this entire niche, everything that I'm using throughout this tutorial, is inside of the niches section, inside of the free course, which you can find in my free Discord linked in description. So you just want to go ahead and find the sports trivia, and inside the asset section you'll have a lot of things that we can use for this. First, you can go ahead and add in your abstract background from the asset. Once you've gone ahead and added in the background, we then want to go ahead and add in a face image of the player, because of course we don't want them to be wearing a kit, otherwise that gives away which team they played for. So you can just use one like this right here, copy this in, and then paste this in right like so, and you can kind of just upscale this to fit the entire thing basically. And then what I recommend doing is going to edit right here and just adding a bit of shadow just to improve the aesthetic of it like so, and you can increase this. And then that's basically going to be your face card. We're then just going to go ahead and download this. So go to share, click download, and then you can download this as a PNG straight onto your device. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and hop into CapCut and start editing these videos. So I'm going to show you exactly how I created this and how you can recreate it yourself. So we're going to go ahead and go and find a background first. So just search for any football stadium and pick a random one. I don't want to give you guys one for all of you to use, because it could lead to you getting unoriginal strikes if everyone's using the exact same one. So just go ahead and scroll through here and just find a high quality image of one. So this one looks absolutely great. So we're going to go ahead and save this, and we're going to download that, and then we can go ahead and add this into CapCut like so. So now we can go ahead and drag this onto the timeline and start making our next video. So firstly, you want to make sure that your aspect ratio is on 9:16, the TikTok size. We're going to full screen this, And this right here is going to be our background for the video. We're also going to go ahead and need an AI voice to narrate this entire video. So in order to do this, you're going to go ahead and copy and paste the link of any of this videos, that you're trying to recreate. So it can be guessing the player from the eyes, it can be guessing the wrong football badge, it can be guessing the goal, any of these styles that you want to go ahead and replicate. We're then going to go ahead and paste this into TalkScript and then click start. And what this is going to go ahead and do is going to get the entire transcript for us. Now we're not going to copy this exactly, we want to add our own twist to it. Firstly, you want to go ahead and tell it to get rid, well actually you can click hide the timestamps here and copy that, but tell this to get rid of the spaces. And I'm going to paste this into ChatGPT just to remove all of these gaps in the writing here. And once it's gone ahead and generated that for us, we're going to go ahead and copy this into 11 Labs and start to edit it. We're going to go ahead and start using 11 Labs. You want to go to text to speech, and you can choose any voice you like, really. There's a bunch of options here that you can choose from. You can even go and clone footballers' voices if you like. So you can go to the voices section, add a new voice, and go to instant voice clone, and then just add like a sample of like Haaland speaking, and then you can just make him the narrator of the video if you like. But I'm personally going to go ahead and use this one right here. It's a British voice. I'll move my face out of the way. It's called Axel. And again, this is like going to be a British accent, so it's going to suit the video well, especially on a UK account. But yeah, you can alter that however you like, and you can also do this niche in any language you like too. So now I'm going to go ahead and copy this entire script, and like I say, we're not going to use it exactly. So as you can see, I've already kind of copied it a little bit here. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to basically be replicating this. But for you guys, I would not recommend exactly replicating this person's video. You need to be creative and make it your own, essentially. So instead of saying which of these players have played for Real Madrid, let's just say we're going to make the first question out Barcelona. And then instead of having the first answer as Haaland, we're just going to go ahead and put someone random. We'll just put Harry Kane. And then so on and so forth. You can basically just go ahead and go through the script and edit it to your own liking, and then generate that. Now, I've already gone ahead and generated the part of the tutorial I'm going to be doing here. So once you've gone ahead and written that out, you then just want to go ahead and click generate speech and download it. And then you can go ahead and add this straight into CapCut like I've already got ahead and done. So we're now going to go ahead and drag and drop our voiceover in. And for the sake of the tutorial, I'm only going to be doing the first 10 seconds, because after the first 10 seconds, you basically just rinse and repeat everything I teach in today's video over and over again. The first thing we're going to go ahead and do is get rid of any of the gaps in the audio. So as you can see at the start here, there's a little gap, so we're going to remove that. Also, over here, we have a gap, so we're going to cut this and remove that, drag it across. There's also a gap right here, and you want to remove these gaps so the video feels fast-paced, basically, so it doesn't feel slow. Once we've gone ahead and done that,
which of these players have never played for Real Madrid?
As you can see, we've got our first part of the video. Next up, we want to go ahead and get our assets into the video. So we're going to go ahead and start with our characters. So we're going to start with the football players, and we're going to go ahead and add these in one by one. So we don't want it this big. We firstly want to go ahead and just drag this down to make it a little bit smaller, and we're going to move it over around here. Then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and go to the animation tab, and you can choose any animation you like. My personal preference is zoom to, and that will just make the footballer zoom in, but you can use whichever one you want, whether it's free, paid version, whatever. You can use any transition that you prefer, basically. Then we're also going to go ahead and add in the next clip of the other footballer, and instead of trying to redo it all again, we're just going to go here, we're going to go to copy attributes, and we're going to go ahead and paste attributes here. Click paste, and as you can see now, if you play this back,
which of these players?
It will have the exact same animation and be exactly the same size, which is perfect. Then we're going to go ahead and just do this for all of the other players as well. So we'll do Odegaard and Seedorf too, and we'll just go ahead and paste the attributes, paste the attributes, and then with these players we can now just move this one down, and then we can move this one over here. And as you can see, we now have all of our players in the video like so. The next thing that we're going to go ahead and need to do is add our text in. So for text, we're just going to go ahead and go to the text, go to default text and add this on top. And you just want to go ahead and put guess the imposter, for example, for this style of video. So that's what we're going to do here. And then we're going to go ahead and change the font. You can do any font. There's loads inbuilt into TikTok. I'm going to do, CapCut. I'm going to be Sophia Pro. This is a free font inside of CapCut, so you don't need to download it or anything. It's already going to be there for you. And we're just going to go ahead and change this. So we're going to add a stroke to the outside. Apologies, my face has been covering this. Like I said, we're going to be using Sophia Pro, which is a font already inside of CapCut. And then we're going to go and scroll down here to preset style and add a stroke on top of this. And then we can also go ahead and increase the thickness of the stroke to make it a bit bolder and stand out more. And then I'd also recommend adding a shadow on top too. And you can also mess around with the colors. So let's say we want this imposter part to be written in yellow. we can do that too. So now as you can see, the bottom part is written in yellow because you've selected that, selected the color, and then we've also got some nice stroke by increasing the thickness, and also added a shadow onto our text like so. So now that you've gone ahead and done that, we just want to make sure this is centralized, and we can also go ahead and add an animation onto this too. So again, you can use whichever one you prefer, any of them, literally whichever your preference is, you can use these. So yeah, that's a great one there.
Which of these players have never played for Real?
The next thing we're going to go and do is add a bit of motion to the video because it feels quite static. We're going to go to the effects tab and search for rebound swing, and we're just going to go ahead and drag and drop this onto our background image of the football stadium. And if you play this back now,
Which of these players have
it's moving around but a little bit too much. So we're going to go ahead and go and lower this. So as you can see above me, it will open up the speed. You just want to lower this down to around 6, and the size, lower this down as well around 10, and you can increase the strength to about 2. And if you play this back now,
Which of these players have never played?
it just adds a bit of movement into the background, which looks great. Another thing we can also go ahead and add is an overlay. It's called halftone, and we're just going to add this layer on top of the football stadium image. Drag this across. Now I've already gone ahead and selected the exact part that you guys want to use for your video, but if I just find it myself for you, you can go ahead and drag and drop this on, and again this is inside the assets folder. Once you've dragged it on, we're going to increase the size, and then we're also going to go ahead and go to the blend mode and put it onto soft light. And as you can see now, it's just added a bit of texture behind. Now when we're looking at the size of the circles in the background, we only want it to be minimal like so. And like I said for you guys, I've already gone ahead and trimmed this down perfectly for you, so you don't need to worry about it. You can just drag and drop it on as many times as you need to do so. But I'm just going to manually do it for myself right now, real quick. So now if we play this back, it looks even better.
Which of these players have never played for Real Madrid? Every football fan should know this. Obvious, it's Erling Haaland.
And there you go. Now, once we've gone ahead and done that, we can just drag the football thing along, and we're going to go into the revealing, or going into the question part of things.
Real Madrid. Every football fan.
So what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to go ahead and copy all of our football players. So we're just going to select them all, copy, and then just paste them against each other like so, so they reappear again.
Real Madrid. Every football fan should know this.
Then we're going to go ahead and copy the text, and we're going to paste this back in. And we're going to do this slightly different this time. This time we're going to go ahead and put easy. We're going to put 1, 2, and we're also going to go ahead and put medium, and we're just going to put 1 below this. We're also going to reduce the size of the text now, so I recommend putting it around 12. And we're also going to go ahead and make sure that this is all aligned on the left hand side like so. Then we can go ahead and move this to wherever you like, and we can also change the color of the text. So we can select easy and question 1 and 2 under the easy section, and just create this as a green color like so. In the medium we can do the same, and we can change this for something like a yellow color, just to, you know, signify what the different levels are like. We're then going to go ahead and copy this, and we're going to paste it on top. We're going to move this across to the side, and we're now just going to go ahead and do our questions for hard. And we're just going to do 1 question for hard. Actually, in fact, let's do 2. And you can experiment with how many questions you do for each. So you could maybe only do 1 easy question, and then like 3 hard ones, whatever you like. As long as the video is over a minute, so you get paid, of course, that's all that matters. And then finally, we're also going to put an impossible. And we'll leave that as so. And we can just drag this across. We'll change the impossible color to something like a purple. And then we'll change the hard to obviously, I think a red suits us the best. And now we have our text on top, and it already has the animations because we copied it from the previous one. So if you play this back now.
Which of these players have never played for Real Madrid? Every football fan should know this. Obvious, it's Erling Haaland.
Now, of course, we want to make sure this is synced up. So when it goes into the part where it reveals the answer, we want to make sure that we cut this and remove it. So actually we can split this here. And we're just going to cut these down. So now that you've cut them down to sync up with the different parts of the voiceover.
Every football fan should know this. Obvious, it's Erling Haaland.
Next up, we now need to just introduce the answer. So obviously out of the 4 players, Haaland was the answer. So we're going to copy him and we're going to paste him back in. Instead of him being a bit smaller on this side, he's now the main event. So we're going to go ahead and make sure this is increased and put him in the middle like so. And again, we're going to go ahead and...
Obvious, it's Erling Haaland. He plays for Manchester City.
I'm going to go ahead and drag this out as well, because this is the answer right here. Then we're going to go ahead and add our text in again. And you can literally just copy the ones from before where we did the easy and hard stuff. I'm just going to drag this out so it fits. And then instead of this, we're now going to go ahead and input our answer. So obviously this is the first question. So the answer to the first question is going to be Haaland. Now, if it makes your text a bit bigger and kind of messes it up, just select the answer text of Haaland and then just change this to white. And then also just make this a little bit smaller than the rest. So we can just put this to like a size 10. And then that will mean that everything stays intact nicely. So if we play this back.
Every football fan should know this. Obvious, it's Erling Haaland. He plays for...
Now, the only thing we need to go ahead and add in here is now our timer. And like I said, all the assets that I'm adding in today's video are inside of the drive. So this timer is also from the Google Drive in the free course. We're just going to go ahead and move this around to fit the size. So I'll say around here looks good. Then we're going to go to remove background. We're going to go to chroma key and we're going to go and select this light green in the background. So we're just going to hold this, select that. And as you can see, it removes the background. Then you just want to fit this to size. So if it doesn't quite fit in, you can just make it a little bit smaller. You can even put it down here near the bottom if you like. Kind of put it wherever you guys like.
Every football fan should know this. Obvious.
And then if it appears too quickly, don't worry, we can just move everything across. So we're just going to go ahead and move the text after here and just give the viewer a bit more time to answer the question. So again, we're going to align this here. And then we're just going to drag this all out to fit the timer like so. So now when we play this back, we're also going to go ahead and leave a gap in here as well. So don't worry if the voiceover is not always happening, because we want to give the viewer time to actually answer the question. So that's also very important. So if we play this back now.
Which of these players have never played for Real Madrid? Every football fan should know this. Obvious, it's Erling Haaland.
And there the answer is revealed after the timer. So that is literally all you need. The only final thing that's obviously missing is the audio. Now what I'd recommend doing is actually just physically adding this in TikTok when you go to post. As you can see, the sound is this one right here. You can just go to this guy's page and favorite this to post for yourself, or you can download the sound. I've gone ahead and downloaded it, and you can just add this in CapCut itself like so. So if we just play this back now,
which of these players have...
sometimes it'll be a bit loud, so we just lower the volume down like so.
Which of these players have never played for Real Madrid? Every football fan should know this. Obvious, it's Erling Haaland.
As you can see, it's really coming together now. The only final thing that I can recommend is being creative with a couple more assets. So because we're talking about Real Madrid here, I'm going to go ahead and implement this logo just to kind of, remind people of the club. So we're going to go ahead and add this in just above the stadium. I hate it when CapCut doesn't add it in properly sometimes. There we go. So as you can see, we can put it in like really large in the background, for example.
Which of these players?
You can also go ahead and apply the exact same animation for everything else. And then also we can mess around with like the blend mode. So this is where you guys can really get creative and just make your video a little bit more unique. I don't want you guys all recreating these videos exactly the same. It's good to be unique. So we can go ahead and add like a soft light, or we can add a linear burn. You can mess around with all these different blend modes right here. You can lower the opacity a little bit.
Which of these players have never played for Real Madrid? And
then like right here, we can kind of get rid of the logo now. We can use the keyframe, so we can go up here, and then you want to go ahead and go to opacity, and you want to click add keyframe right here. Then we're just going to go back a couple frames, so you can use the arrow keys. We're going to go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, and then we can go ahead and put this to 51. So we're going to add another keyframe, go back to the original one here at the end, and we're going to put this all the way down to 0, and that's basically going to fade out the logo.
Which of these players have never played for Real Madrid? Every football fan should know.
So that's literally everything. Again, the stuff I added at the end there was a little bit over the top. You don't need to use keyframes and stuff. It's just if you want to get creative with it. But now you just need to go ahead and basically re-repeat this process all the way through for all your different questions. Get it to a minute long, or if you're not at 10k yet, you can do 40-second videos. That's fine, just to save you a bit of time. But yeah, the concept's relatively simple. Once you have this down and you've created your first video, you can literally just go in and go to the same project file and just edit it. So you can just change the images for different ones, because the same style is always going to be there.
Which of these players have never...
So if you want to do a different video, you can just change Haaland for a different player, and Kovacic for a different player, and Odegaard for a different player, and just keep repeating this process. You don't need to remake the whole video from scratch every single time. That's my advice in order to make these videos as efficiently as possible. So the first time you make the video is probably going to take a little bit of time, but after that, you just need to replace the files over and over again, and you're good to go. Now guys, if you are looking to take TikTok seriously, I have just opened up a few new spots for my inner circle. These are the people that are one-to-one mentored by me every single day. They have daily calls with me every single day, and they get guaranteed brand deals for the brands that we work with inside the inner circle, meaning they get paid just to post a certain amount of videos every single month, guaranteed, regardless of how they perform. As you've been seeing on screen, there are some of the results of the inner circle members, and through joining, I guarantee your first $10,000 online with TikTok. So if you would like to apply, the application link is going to be below. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go and drop a like and subscribe to the channel with post notifications on. I really do appreciate it. My second vlog channel is linked in the description with my lifestyle content, and also my Instagram is linked there as well if you'd like to check those out. That being said, I'll see you in the next one, guys.